welcome back to my channel and to another subscriber request Saturday. If you're wondering about subscriber request Saturday, it's basically where every other Saturday or so will take a request from one of my subscribers and do a video about it. So in case you're wondering about the cryptic title, yeah, this was a request by Marie Carberry. It was actually a really recent request, and I realized I have a whole lot of other requests that came before that one. However, I wanted to go ahead and do this one because I feel like it's applicable to the holidays and it's a kind of Christmassy look. She wanted a cranberry look done with the Laura Cat's Pajamas palette. Mine, however, doesn't look the same as it used to. This is the Cat's Pajamas palette. Having been depotted into one of the Lime Crime Pocket Candy palettes, I pried the other eyeshadows out because they were absolutely atrocious, and I replaced it with the Laura Cat's Pajamas shadows that I depotted. So yeah, have a nice little travel-friendly, sturdy, compact palette with a good mirror, which is what I didn't like about the Cat's Pajamas palette. And yeah, I've got better shadows in there now. So anyway, she wanted me to do a cranberry look. This is what I came up with. I really love the cranberry look and the reds, of course. However, I don't generally do the kind of glam cranberry, you know, beautiful, immaculate, clean cut creases that most people do on the holidays because it's just not really my style. This is more within my comfort zone. So this is what I came up with. Yeah, this is my cranberry look that you can wear to piss off your parents. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. So I hope you guys like it. Let's go ahead and get started. First, I'm going to prime my eyes with the Urban Decay Primer Potion, the anti-aging version. Then I'm going to set that with the shade Okie Dokie from the Laura Cat's Pajamas palette. It's the matte white shade, just using a giant fluffy blending brush. Then I'm going to go into Bomb Diggity, which is like the lightest transition shade in the palette, and I'm putting that right in my crease, not bringing it up too high though. This is actually a less messy version of a transition shade. Then I'm taking that matte burgundy shade called Kooky on a Real Techniques Essential Crease brush, and I'm putting that right in my crease, but actually being pretty precise with that as well. As you can see, I'm not dragging it up too high. I'm making sure it stays in my crease. So that's going to take a little bit of time. There is a lot of blending involved in this look because I'm not dragging the shades out. I'm not dragging them up. I'm keeping them fairly concentrated where they're at, so there is going to be a lot of blending involved. Then I'm going into the black shade with an e.l.f. Detail Crease brush. Again, pretty precise application of this. It is blown out, but the placement is pretty precise, so I'm trying to blend in that one little spot, as you can see. I'm doing the same thing on my inner corner, but I'm going for a very specific shape. I had a very specific shape in mind, almost a oval shape, I don't know, but that is why it takes me a while to blend it, and that's what we have so far. I left my upper lid, or my center of my crease, pretty blank, but I am going to take a Morphe M506 blending brush and blend out that black a bit just to make sure it's diffused, and then connecting the two in the center of my crease, but not making it too heavy. I don't want the black to be too prominent up top. I want it to be more concentrated on the outer corners. Still lots and lots of blending, and that's what we have so far before the shimmery shade goes down. So then I'm going into the shade In One Ear. This is my favorite shade in the palette. If you saw my review of this palette, I mentioned this shade, when you use it wet, it almost looks like paint. Like, it is super pigmented, it's super metallic. It's just really nice. I really love this eyeshadow. It just reminds me of paint when I apply it wet. So I'm literally painting that on my eyelid, but as you can see, I'm keeping it in a very precise location. I'm not really sure how else to describe it, but I make sure when I open my eye that I have dragged it just barely above my eyelid. Then I'm going to blend out that edge with an e.l.f. Detail Crease brush once again, just to make sure it's smooth. And then I'm just going to keep looking at where that is to make sure that metallic shade isn't going to transfer. Like, you can see, look at that. It looks like paint. I will mention that I use the Pixi Glow Mist, which I don't necessarily recommend to wet your brush with because it does have oil in it, which will break down your eyeshadow. But as you can see, I'm just going to keep blending. There's so much blending involved in this eye look. It is ridiculous. But I'm going to keep blending using that tiny little blending brush. Then back in with the Real Techniques Essential Crease. And perhaps a little bit of the shade Bomb Diggity. I can't quite remember. Actually, no, I think I mixed Bomb Diggity with the white shade in the palette just to go around the edges. And as you can see, the motion I'm doing, I'm not moving my brush out or in. I'm taking it right on that line and not veering off course. Just keep going back and forth as many times as I need to. Then I'm gonna re-intensify that black real quick. For foundation, I'm gonna use the Wet n Wild MegaCushion foundation. I have been liking this foundation quite a bit. I did a review on it and did a video about it. I love that foundation. Then I'm going to use the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Aquacealer in the shade Fair, just painting it where I need it, making sure I'm shaping my eyeshadow in the process. So this is the point where I'm going to make sure to clean up that edge there so that I can make the shape I want on my lower lash line without having to worry about the mess that I've created. But as you can see, I'm shaping the inner part and the outer part. I have a very, like I said, I have had a very specific shape in mind when I began this look and when I tested it the first time. So yeah, I'm just making sure I get that shape right. Going around my nose, I usually do concealer around my nose just because that's where my foundation will fall apart the first before anything else, because I, as I've said before, have allergies. Then I'm taking a beauty blender and Hourglass Diffused Light and setting my under eye. I've noticed that helps prevent my mascara from creasing when I do like an easy bake under my eye with that setting powder. Setting the rest of my face with the same powder. Then my lower lash line, I'm taking Bomb Diggity on that Morphe M506, and this is where I'm going to get the shape that I want. As you can see, I did clean up the shape with that concealer, so I have a blank canvas down there to kind of work with. So Bomb Diggity first as my transition, just to shape my eyeshadow, as you can see. Then I'm taking Kooky, that matte burgundy shade. I'm going to put that on the outer corner and inner corner. Basically just a mirror image of my upper lash line at this point. You guys know the drill. Then I'm going to take the black shade on a flat liner brush by e.l.f. It's just a really stiff, precise, flat brush. And I am putting that black shade right there on my outer corner, just like on the top. But I don't want it to come down too far. I just want to make sure it stays right there by my lash line, and then I can blend it when I need, whatever. I can blend it as I need. And that's what I'm doing here with the Morphe M506, but I'm not dragging it down too far. Not today. Usually I drag my lower lash, or lower lid shadow down pretty far, but not today. Just gonna keep blending it until I'm happy with it. And that is what we have so far. I love that cranberry shade. That is the star of the Cat's Pajamas palette, hands down. So I'm going back into that shade with an e.l.f. smudge brush this time. I didn't wet it. You really don't need to unless you want it like super metallic, like foiled look like I did on my top lid. But of course, just smudging that on my lower lash line. Then I am actually going to go in and blend it just to make sure it's blended as well as I'd like. Very, very lightly though. I don't want to make a mess of this. I'm going to go back in with that e.l.f. smudge brush and just touch up my top lid, because like I said, that Pixi Glow Mist, I think the oil just breaks down my eyeshadow, and like I said, I'm going to make sure that that burgundy shade, or that cranberry shade, makes a circle almost on my eyeball. Like if you could peel my eyelids off, then the cranberry shade would literally just cover my eyeball. If you could peel off every bit of my eyeball, if you could peel off all of my eyelid except for where that cranberry shade covered, It's covering my eyeball. I'm going somewhere with this, I promise. Anyway, I'm going to take that champagne shade and I'm highlighting my inner corner with it and that little Wet n Wild brush. I really like that shade too. I'm going to bronze with the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and I'm keeping it pretty high on my face along with my blush and my highlight. I'm keeping all that pretty high because I want to draw attention to my eyes. I want it to just, I don't know, basically want my face products to draw attention to my eye look, so I'm keeping them pretty high up there. Same with the blush, keeping it high on my cheekbones just to draw attention to my eye look. Almost framing my eye look, because that is what this whole entire look is all about. So I'm going to highlight with Becca's Moonstone, and again, keeping it a lot higher than I normally would my highlight. Normally I highlight exactly where the light hits my face. Today I'm highlighting above that. Normally I won't highlight this high because I think it kind of emphasizes my fine lines that I have there. But I did use quite a dewy foundation as well as concealer, so I think that combats the fine line problem. And therefore I am again using my highlight to draw attention to my eye look. And I'm just going to highlight everywhere on my face because it's Christmas and shimmer is a thing, I guess. For brows, I'm using the Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Retractable Brow Pencil in the shade Dark Brown. They don't make anything darker than dark brown, but my hair is in need of a gloss, so whatever. It seems like a decent shade right now. I haven't quite decided how much I like this brow pencil. It's a little bit waxy, but it seems like the more I use it, it softens up a bit. But to make him a little bit darker, I'm going to use the Essence Make Me Brow Gel. Just darken it up a bit, kind of cool that brown shade down. Highlight my brow bone with Becca Moonstone, of course. And I'm just going to curl my lashes and apply mascara, starting with my lower lashes because that way it won't transfer to my cheekbones, because I am putting quite a bit on my lower lashes. So I want to let that dry before I do my upper lashes so it doesn't transfer. For lips, I'm just going to use the Nude Sticks Lip and Cheek Pencil in the shade Whisper. It is pretty much like my normal lip color, just evens it out a bit. And of course, I don't want to draw any attention away from my eyes, so I just wanted to use this, and I wanted something matte. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments. If you're not a subscriber and you want to be, hit the subscribe button on your way out. And I'll see you next time. Peace out guys, and happy friggin' holidays.